There is something worse than marrying a useless man, and that is marrying a man who belongs to his mother. Ask Nkem. She learned this lesson the hard way. When she married Ugochukwu, she thought she had found a good man. He was handsome, educated, had a good job, and spoke sweet words that made her heart soft like butter on a hot bread. But when Nkem did not know was that she was not just marrying Ugo, she was also marrying Ugo's mother. And Mama Ugo, she was not ready to let go of her husband. The first red flag came on the day of Nkem's wedding. She stepped into the church in a beautiful white gown, feeling like a queen, only to see something that made her stumble in shock. Mama Ugo was sitting in front row, wearing the exact same color as the bride, pure white lace from head to toe. Not cream, not champagne gold, white. Tell me, which mother-in-law wears white to her son's wedding? And throughout the ceremony, she was crying louder than the bride, dabbing her face with handkerchief as if someone had died. When the priest said, "You may now kiss the bride," guess what happened? Mama Ugo stretched out her hand first, as if she was the one Ugo had married. The priest had to clear his throat and remind her that it was Nkem's turn. People laughed. They thought it was funny. But Nkem should have known this was no joke. This was a warning. After the wedding, Ugo convinced Nkem to move into his family house. "Mama is getting old," he said. "She loves you like a daughter." That was the biggest lie of the century. The very first morning, Nkem woke up early to prepare breakfast for her husband. She walked into the kitchen, humming to herself, cracked some eggs, and reached for the oil. Boom! The kitchen door swung open. Mama Ugo stood there with arms folded, watching her like a snake about to strike. "What are you doing?" she asked. Nkem smiled nervously. "Good morning, Mama. I'm just making breakfast for Ugo." Mama Ugo hissed, "Put that egg back down. My son doesn't eat food from strangers." "Stranger?" Nkem froze. She had married this man just 3 days ago. Before she could say anything, Ugo walked in, yawning. She expected him to stand up for her, to tell his mother to stop the nonsense. But do you know what this grown man said? "Mama, is my tea ready?" Mama Ugo's face immediately softened. She smiled sweetly at him and said, "Yes, my dear, come and eat." And that was the moment Nkem realized she was not the wife in the marriage. She was just the visitor in Mama Ugo's house. From that day, Nkem learned that there were strict rules in Mama Ugo's house. She was not allowed to cook for Ugo. He only eats food I prepare. She was not allowed to wash his clothes. I know how to wash them the way he likes. She was not allowed to spend every night with him. Yes, my people, you have had me right. Some nights, she and Ugo would be laying in bed, talking and laughing, when suddenly, knock knock. "Ugo, wake up, I made your favorite soup." And do you know what this overgrown baby of a man would do? He would get up and go to eat soup at 2 a.m. If Nkem dared complain, Ugo would rub her back and say, "Nay, she raised me, don't stress her, don't stress her." Who was the wife here, her or me? The real madness started when Nkem got pregnant. She thought Mama Ugo would be happy that she would finally see her as a family. Instead, the woman took full control. Nkem was not allowed to eat when she craved. No suya, no ice cream. I only ate bitter leaf soup when I was pregnant with Ugo. She was not allowed to rest. I carried a whole pregnancy and still pounded yam every day. She was not even allowed to choose her baby's name. I will name my grandson myself. One day, Nkem was craving suya so badly that she begged Ugo to buy her suya. That night, she was carrying his child after all. Was it too much to ask? Ugo, like the loving husband he was, pretending to be, agreed. He even smiled and kissed her forehead. But before he could step out of the house, the devil's deputy herself appeared. Mama Ugo, where are you going at this time of the night? She asked. I want to buy suya for Nkem, Ugo said. Mama Ugo gasped like she had just said he was about to join the cult. Nkem, you want to kill my son? She shrieked. Do you know how many people use juju on suya? That's how young men eat nonsense and die. Ugo froze. He turned to Nkem confused. But Mama, you will not get anywhere, Mama Ugo snapped. And just like that, he turned around and sat on the chair like a scolded child. She was pregnant, carrying his child, and this man could not even buy her suya. When it was finally time for Nkem to give birth, she thought maybe, just maybe, Mama Ugo will calm down, but she thought wrong. At the hospital, while she was screaming in labor, Mama Ugo was in the corridor arguing with the nurses. Make sure she gives birth naturally. She won. In my time, we didn't do CS. Women of today are too lazy. Nkem from the delivery room could hear everything. But at that moment, she didn't care. She just wanted the baby out. And after hours of pain and struggle, the baby finally came out. A bouncing baby boy. Nkem thought, finally, now Mama will love me, just like she loves Ugo. Ha! Biggest joke of the year. Because as soon as Mama Ugo heard it was a boy, she grabbed the child and started singing praises. My son has given me another husband, another husband. Did she say grandson? No, she said husband. Right there in the hospital, Nkem knew this woman would raise her son the same way she raised Ugo. And if she didn't act fast, she would soon become a visitor in her child's life. The madness continued when they got home. For the first few months, Mama Ugo took full control of the baby. She decided when the baby ate. She decided what the baby wore. She decided when the baby would sleep. One night, Nkem woke up hungry. She tiptoed to the kitchen to make tea. And that was when she saw it. Mama Ugo in the sitting room, carrying the baby, rocking him gently. Sounds sweet, right? Except she was whispering something. Don't worry, my love, she was saying, stroking the baby's head. When you grow up, I will find you a good wife. Not like your mother. She doesn't even know how to take care of you. And Nkem's blood went cold. This woman was already turning her own child against her. In that moment, something inside her snapped. She realized that if she didn't leave now, she would wake up one day and find herself completely erased from her own home. That night, she decided she was going to leave. The next morning, Nkem packed her bags. She told Ugo she was taking the baby to visit her mother for 1 week. That was a lie. She had no plans of coming back. Ugo, useless, peerless Ugo, just smiled and nodded. Greet Mama for me, oh. He didn't even suspect anything. But Mama Ugo watched her closely. She must have sensed something because as Nkem stepped out, she called her out. Nkem, remember that you are nothing without my son. Nkem paused. Then she turned around, smiled and said, No, Mama, your son is nothing without me. Then she walked back and never looked back. My people, that is how Nkem saved herself. She almost lost herself in that house. She almost became one of those women who sit down miserable, forgotten, and invisible. But she ran. She ran while she still could. So if you ever see the signs, if the mother wears white to your wedding, if she refuses to eat your food, if she calls your son her son, run. Because if you don't, one day you will wake up and realize you were never his wife. You were just the woman who came to give his mother grandchildren. Hi, besties! We have come to the end of this very interesting story. If you enjoyed, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you will never miss on whenever I post a new story. Till I come your way next time. Ciao.